warning of a grave health crisis in the national capital, the Delhi Jal Board, which supplies water to the national capital, has moved the National Green Tribunal. It demanded that Haryana be asked to take urgent steps to check the dangerous levels of ammonia in River Yamuna. The tribunal sought a detailed reply from the Haryana government by February 13th on the petition, which claimed that water being released by the state was so polluted that it cannot be treated for drinking. It may cause a huge and irreparable loss to the citizens of Delhi and has potential for a grave health crisis and water crisis in the national capital region. The board sought a direction to the state government to urgently take steps to check and reduce dangerous ammonia levels and other consequent pollution being caused in the Yamuna in the supply of water being taken to Wazirabad Pond Reservoir in Delhi. The Aam Aadmi Party had made tall promises on 24-hour clean water supply. Now the citizens of Delhi are struggling to get water in their homes. Those who do get water supply don't get clean water. The water supplied to them is unfit for consumption, leading to an array of diseases.
हमारे यहाँ पानी के अंदर बीमारी हो रही है. कल परसों से मैं 3-4 दिन बीमार रहा हूँ. दस्त मेरे को लगे रहे हैं. बाजार से पानी लेके हम पी रहे हैं.
पानी में जैसे कि हल्दी होती है ना, एक हल्दी को जैसे हल्का कलर डाल दिया जाए तो पानी में पीलापन हो जाता है, इस तरह का पानी होता है.
तो पेट की अक्सर पेट गैस बनने लगती, मेरे भी ऐसी प्रॉब्लम हो रही है. तो डॉक्टर ने कहा पानी बदल दो.
बहुत खराब, बिल्कुल ऐसा मालूम होता है जैसे कि टॉयलेट का पानी आ रहा हो.
Meanwhile, in Karnataka, 3 residents of a village lost their lives after drinking contaminated water. The water was supplied to their houses by the village Gram Panchayat. 45 people also fell sick after drinking the same toxic water. As per UN-endorsed projections, global demand for fresh water will exceed supply by 40% in 2030. What's even worse is the mention of Bengaluru as one among the 11 cities most likely to run out of drinking water. So is there a solution to the water crisis that looms large over cities in India at all? The debate begins now.
Good evening, waters. Tonight we turn our focus onto the water crisis that's plaguing various cities of our country. From Chennai, that swings between drought and floods within a year, to Bengaluru, that is topping the global charts on water scarcity in the coming future, to our national capital. It's not even summers yet and the Delhi's Aam Aadmi is already struggling to get water. And there is only one reason: bad planning, bad management by the government authorities. People are dying of polluted water in our country. Diseases are spreading. In Delhi, there has been an acute shortage of water for the past 10 days, and we are given to understand that it will continue for some time. Those who do get a little bit of water get a contaminated version of it with extremely high worrying levels of ammonia. Is this the new India? Is this the new superpower that we talk about and hope to become? Where even in our cities, we are not able to get a clean glass of drinking water. That is the big tonight, and I have 3 basic questions for our guests. Has the AAP government been caught napping on the Delhi water crisis? They came on huge promises of resolving the water crisis in this city, beginning with affordable water. But what's the point of having affordable or free water when it's not drinkable? Question number 2. The Aam Aadmi seems to be paying the price. Is the Aam Aadmi paying the price for the political fight between 2 state governments? The Delhi versus Haryana fight seems to be brewing again, as the Jal Board claims that they are facing a shortage because Haryana has reduced the water supply. In question number 3, what is the solution to Delhi's water woes? Let's say good evening to Akshay Marathe, spokesperson for the Aam Aadmi Party, and Sanjay Sharma with me in the studios. He's an expert. He's also a member of the Citizens Front for Water Democracy. Mr. Sharma, let me come to you first. Give us a sense of how deep this problem is, and has the government failed in recognizing it?
I'll prefer to answer your second question. No, government has not failed, number 1. Number 2, yes, the crisis is very deep because we are in Delhi, the Delhi Jal Board is getting highly polluted waters at Wazirabad Pond, which is in fact the violation of Supreme Court orders that a certain quality of water to be maintained at Wazirabad Pond by the Haryana government. So how the crisis is coming up, who is responsible? That is the main question. So I saw that in the morning when I checked with Delhi Jal Board, the ammonia levels was 1.0 ppm. It was very high. And I talked to one
1.0 ppm.
Yeah.
What should be the normal ideal value?
Ideal value that it, as per BIS, they permit 0.5 ppm. BIS 10.
So that's double.
Sorry.
That's double what should be the ideal.
That's double, and the problem starts when it crosses 0.5 ppm. Although it's better that it should be nil. But the Delhi Jal Board plants are designed to treat the water up to 1.1, 1.2 ppm of the ammonia. But yes, the problem starts at above 0.5 ppm levels. And what happens that when I talk to the officers working right now on the treatment plants, I come to know that after the NGT notice, it has dropped down to 0.2 ppm. So just in 6 to 8 hours, it is dropped down. So miracle has already taken place. I think I cannot blame any government on this, but yes, there is a responsibility of both the governments to maintain certain quality standards in the water to keep the people of Delhi or people of any city fit and healthy.
So let me ask that, Akshay Marathe, to you. What steps did you take? Because it looks like you've been caught napping on it.
Thanks for having me on the show, Tanvi. Let me first give you a background of this particular crisis. The expert who spoke right before me has given you a lowdown on exactly what the problem was and why we're having this shortage. But let's look at it from an administrative perspective. The way water supply in Delhi runs is that Delhi is obviously dependent on water from Haryana, and the same Yamuna river flows from Delhi into Uttar Pradesh. So the way that Delhi is dependent on Haryana, Uttar Pradesh is also dependent on Delhi. Now the reason that Delhi has such an acute crisis is because there are polluting industries in Haryana which are not being regulated by the government of Haryana, allowing large amounts of ammonia to flow into the water. Now imagine if this were the case in Delhi, that Delhi's industries were beginning to pollute Yamuna, causing the same crisis to occur in UP. Would you blame the Delhi government for it or the UP government for it? In this case, the answer is clear that it has been a lapse on the part of Haryana, that they did not do enough to protect Yamuna from being polluted. Let me also add here that whenever something like this has happened, and it has happened in the past as well, mind you, the Haryana government in the past has been quick to therefore increase the water supply to Delhi, diluting the water and reducing the level of ammonia. Why they have not done it this time is a question that needs to be asked to them. And it's also an irony, like the speaker before me was saying, that as soon as the National Green Tribunal has issued a notice to the Haryana government, they seem to have released that extra water, resulting in a subsequent dilution of the quantities of ammonia. And I think we may see a solution soon because the courts have had to step in. Let me make one last point before you move on, which is that this is clearly a state coordination problem. This is a problem of the federal structure, right? Across this country, there are states which have such water disputes, but at no point in time has any state purposefully allowed the water of another state to be polluted in the way Haryana has. So it's almost playing with the lives of the people of Delhi. I really appeal to the
what have you done to reduce? So what have you done to reduce
not allow
your
this
dependence on this one very polluted source of water for your citizens? Or are we just going to sit back and pray that Mr. Khattar shows some generosity towards Mr. Kejriwal?
No, this is not about Mr. Khattar or Mr. Kejriwal. The Yamuna belongs to all of India. If Mr. Khattar has a responsibility to the people of Haryana, because the river passes from Haryana to Delhi, he also has a responsibility towards the people of Delhi. He cannot allow the people of Haryana or the industries of Haryana to pollute the water, thus resulting in this crisis. But let me also say that this is not the only source of water for Delhi. The government has just launched a new reservoir, the construction of a new reservoir. We are trying to diversify the sources of water that we are dependent on. However, at this point in time, since the Yamuna does supply a lot of water for Delhi, it is incumbent upon the Haryana government to ensure that the people of Delhi do not suffer because of their own lapses.
Mr. Sharma, I want to bring this question to your notice as well. Water shortages have become something of an annual ritual. It's not something that cropped up after the this year itself. By 2030, it is estimated to grow by 11 million from 14 million residents to 25 million. A mega city atop a mega city is what a report in the Wire suggested. Without any changes in the city's water management policies, the prospect of all of those urban residents having access to water is grim. Would you agree?
Yeah, I do agree with this, but I'll now prefer to intervene what the Aam Aadmi Party
Akshay Marathe, yes.
Yeah, Akshay Marathe said. Look, we should see where the problem lies. There is a drain number 2 which starts from Panipat, and it takes the effluent of the Panipat industries, and then there is a dye drain over there. So the dye drain and this drain number 2, they meet each other at village Shimla Gujran. There is a village in Haryana that called Shimla Gujran, and if you see the satellite imagery of today on Google, you will find that this is the point where the Delhi's water is polluting, the Yamuna is polluting, and then this goes to a village called Khojkipur and it drops to the river Yamuna. So it is very clear. And then there is a common effluent treatment plant over there near dye drain on the when it merged with the drain number 2. And that is actually non-functional. It is unable to treat the pollutants which has been drained down to the that is an untreated effluent, and that particular CETP don't have the capacity to treat that, and Haryana allows the industries to actually drain down.
I'm going to tell you and Mr. Marathe the same thing. You've both made your point now about what Haryana is doing or not doing. The citizens of Delhi want to know what the government of Delhi can do and cannot do, and what it is not doing, and pointing fingers. So if any of you can tell me, according to estimates of Central Pollution Control Board, every day almost 40% of untreated sewage from Delhi either seeps into the ground or is discharged into the Yamuna river. Is that correct or not?
I don't think so.
You don't think that that the Delhi sewage water is going underground or untreated or into Yamuna river, Mr. Sharma?
I say no.
Mr. Marathe, is this figure wrong?
No, I'm sorry, I'm not aware of the exact figures that you're quoting, but I will check. But let me answer your question. The thing is that as soon as we found out about this problem, and I'm sure your viewers also know that this is not something that has been created in the last few hours or last few days. This problem has been identified over a month ago, and the Delhi government, the Delhi Jal Board, headed by Mr. Kejriwal, has been writing letters to the Haryana government. In fact, it's not a political fight. Trust me. It's about day-to-day coordination. Delhi Jal Board officials have been speaking to their Haryana counterparts on a regular basis, trying to get this resolved. But in the last 10 days, the shortage has been so acute that the Delhi Jal Board had no option but to file a petition in the NGT. And it's a state-to-state issue. There is no, when something like this happens, the government does not have any alternative but to approach the court. And this is after every single alternative had been already, used. The government had tried every single option at its disposal. We had written letters, we had spoken to their officials. I do not want to play politics over this because
but you
that's
are.
not
My
the,
question
not
repeatedly to you is, what
either.
is it that apart from this you can do? I am asking you, if 40% of Delhi's sewage waste goes into ground or into river Yamuna, you don't know. I am asking you, what have you done to find other sources of water, including water preservation, including using the rainwater harvesting? Can you give me some details of what the Delhi government has planned since you've come to power?
Of course. So the most important thing that the Delhi government has done is that only in 3 years the Delhi government has provided piped water supply to over 319 unauthorized colonies of Delhi. And this is a huge step because what it does is it ensures that those colonies don't have to depend on water tankers, because water tankers can be polluted, you don't know what their source is. So now that there is piped water supply to over 319 new colonies of Delhi in the last 3 years, you can be sure that the quality of water is at least potable. This short-term crisis, however, is not about what the Delhi Jal Board has been doing so far. So let's separate those two issues. On the one hand, the Delhi government has been doing a lot of things. Like I mentioned earlier, the Chief Minister just launched a reservoir, a project about 2 weeks ago. Your channel, I think, had also covered it. We are looking at other options as well. Rainwater harvesting has been given a huge push in the last 2 years. And all of these things are actually for the long term, and they play out on a regular basis anyway. However, this particular crisis is not about how much water we have. It's not about what steps the government has taken to enlarge the supply of water. It's about the quality of the water itself.
Okay.
And if the quality of the water is not in the control of the Delhi government at this point, how are we supposed to pin the blame on Delhi government? If the water is being polluted on Haryana's side, we have exhausted all our options. I'm saying it again and again. We have tried everything possible, and obviously going to the court has been the last resort.
Mr. Sharma, I wanted to comment?
Yes, as far as the step taken by the Delhi government, I want to inform that yes, Delhi government has taken the steps. I'll tell you that Yamuna water is used and treated at 3 water facilities in Delhi. One is Vajravad water treatment plant, where there is a treatment of 120 mgd of water. Then there is Chadraval water treatment plant, where there is a treatment of around 90-95 mgd of water. And then it goes to the Okhla water treatment plant, where we treat this water. So I'll like to inform you that there is a plan and there is a technology that Delhi government has identified, and tenders will soon come on board. And the technology will have ammonia removal filtration system. So already that is in the process, number one. Number two, yes, there was a question which was raised by Citizen Front of Water Democracy in the past before Kejriwal government, that ammonia, when we treat that ammonia at the water treatment plant with a chlorine to neutralize it, it forms the primary, secondary and tertiary amines, and they are carcinogenic. They may cause the cancer. And then there a committee was constituted. I was the member of that committee, and the committee drafted a SOP whenever there will be ammonia in water higher than 1.0 ppm, then what should be taken. So the efforts have already been started. Yes, there is a little bit of delay in taking the action, but the Delhi Jal Board, I'll appreciate they are working on that, and they have already finalized the SOP. It has
so there is a bit of delay. What should the people of Delhi do meanwhile? Let's sit and point fingers at the BJP. Mr. Rajiv Jaitley of the BJP is on the phone line. Mr. Jaitley, tonight, in the city of Delhi, there are many parts that are facing a water shortage. There are other parts of this capital where the water that's actually coming in has dangerously high levels of ammonia. It's poisonous, it's toxic, it's contaminated. And we are being told this is happening in Delhi because of the pollution that industries are creating in the state of Haryana. That this Haryana government, that the Haryana state is actually poisoning Yamuna to such an extent and giving that water to Delhi. Your response, please.
No, actually, I think you can't just simply blame Haryana on that. Look at the Agra Canal. Agra Canal, who is polluting Agra Canal? It is just because of ignorance of Delhi government. Entire Agra Canal is, it has got a lot of ammonia, and this canal's water is creating a lot of problems, facing cancer kind of disease in adjoining area of Delhi. So this becomes responsibility of Delhi government to look into this matter particularly. And simultaneously, I would also like to bring to your notice that people in Haryana have lost FIR against Delhi government, with former Chief Minister of Delhi, just because they are, spreading a lot of pollution, and this pollution is coming from Delhi to Haryana. But meanwhile, we will take necessary action whenever it will be directed to Haryana government by any agency. We will take.
What do you mean by whenever it will be directed by any body? You're waiting for a court order to tell you that start cracking down on industries who are polluting the river? so that
No,
people
I'm
can
not-
have
I'm not,
clean water to drink?
I'm not aware which industry they are talking about, because this Yamuna, which crosses Delhi, adjoining area like Silampur and other places where they have illegal, industries, those who are working, those who are collecting garbages, those who are collecting, electronic waste. So entire this electronic waste is also coming to the Yamuna. This within the Delhi also this problem is big. I mean this becomes
Tanvi, there is-
responsibility of Delhi government.
Okay, Mr. Jaitley, Akshay Marathe of the Aam Aadmi Party wants to come in here, and also Akshay, if you can tell him what industries or at which point is this happening to the river?
Tanvi, there is no doubt that there are a lot of problems within Delhi as well. However, it's important to understand why this shortage has happened. This shortage is only and only linked to ammonia, and ammonia, which is being, the source of this ammonia is directly linked to the polluting industries between the border of Delhi and Sonipat, Panipat. Between this 60-70 kilometer stretch is the cause of this problem. That's where the polluting industries are. So I just want to correct Mr. Jaitley that this is not from Silampur or Simapuri. This polluting water is this sewage is being entered into the river from the other side of the border. However, I also want to add here that like Mr. Sharma said in the beginning of this program, as soon as the court has issued an order, the Haryana government seems to have responded. I would like to ask Mr. Jaitley, what is it that had stopped the Haryana government from responding when for the last whole month the Aam Aadmi Party government had been requesting the Khattar government through letters, through calls, we have done everything possible. Why have they not done it before the court order?
Mr. Jaitley, would you want to respond to that?
Hello, I couldn't hear what he said exactly.
He's asking you, why is it that only after the court order the Haryana government seems to be responding to the problems of Delhi? Before that, the Chief Minister and the government of Delhi repeatedly reached out to the Haryana government and there was no response. So the question that all of us want to ask is, who's responsible for the water woes of Delhi tonight then? Is it the Haryana government and the BJP?
I would appreciate the spokesperson of Aam Aadmi Party, because what he is talking is entirely different, the version of their party. They never admitted that Silampur and other places are getting this kind of problem. They never admitted. The first time on the TV channel he has admitted that this problem persists and it is because of the ignorance of the government. But yes, almost 10 years back, since almost 10 years, people of NCR like Faridabad and nearby area, those who are suffering with cancer and other dangerous chronic diseases. This is happening just because of the kind of ignorance Delhi government has always paid towards NCR region. But yes, meanwhile, I would also say that yes, we will take necessary action. Whatever necessary action, we will, chart out all those industries who are creating this kind of problem. We will not say that it is. We won't put a
But
blame
Mr.
game.
Jaitley, here is the point. Now you may want to crack down now on these industries, and I'm glad, thank you so much for waking up to the fact that the industries are ruining our drinking water and flouting norms left, right and center. But what do we do now for the next few months? That's the question, Sanjay Sharma. How long will it take for these water treatment plants who are not even functioning at their full capacity to clean and purify the water? What happens now?
You see, that all depends on the skills of the scientists working over there. I'd like to inform you that DJB plants run 24/7 and the scientists remain there at 24/7. Those are responsible for the treatment of the water. So whenever the ammonia is available in the water, and if they saw a pattern of ammonia, they prepare themselves to actually treat it. For an example, the 2-day case, the ammonia was 1.0 ppm in the water, and the scientists over there perhaps anticipating that ammonia levels will go up, and as the ammonia levels go up, they were able to treat it, because perhaps only because of the preparations done by them. So there is no drop of even a single MGD at DJB's water treatment plants today. So I should appreciate the employees of Delhi Jal Board and scientists of Delhi Jal Boards, though in spite of the conditions, tackle the situation very well. Yeah, as far as the complete solution is concerned, the Haryana government should take some stringent steps to the industries. Those are discharging their effluent directly to the drain number 2, which is coming to River Yamuna. And I like to give you example of a village called Shimla Gujran, that is where the CETP is. The people, most of the population is suffering with the cancer, and the animals are dying over there because of the polluted water. So yes, the water is directly correlated with the health of the citizens.
What is the impact, if you can tell our viewers, about this kind of water that we are now getting in our homes in Delhi?
You see, as far as the water supply by Delhi Jal Board, it is well tested before supplying at the treatment plants. The Delhi Jal Boards, each and every treatment plant has got a laboratory over there. They first check it and then allow to supply it to the citizens. And as far as
I can give you numerous examples of where our reporters have gone. Some of those visuals are running on our screens, and these are all from different parts of Delhi.
Yes, you can.
Where toxic, contaminated water is reaching the households. This is of today. Last week also
I am looking at the glass of. I am looking at the glass of this water which this woman is having, and I am sure as a water quality expert that this is 100% pure water. It has no contamination in it, and I am sure that what happened in the waters that supply, this happens during the distribution, not at the treatment plant.
Okay, but I asked you, sir, if you can tell me what is the impact of water that if people consume.
Certainly,
if I consume a glass of water that has 2.23 parts per million of ammonia in it, whereas the safe limit is 0.2 ppm?
I'll say that whatever water is supplied to the citizens of Delhi don't have 2.3. 2 or 2.3, even 0.2 ppm of ammonia in it.
Okay. You are contesting the reports that have come out.
Certainly,
now,
yes. You show me the reports, I'll tell where the errors are.
Well, actually, the NGT has gone ahead and itself admitted in the Jal Board has gone ahead and itself admitted in the NGT that yes, the water treatment plants are unable to function at a proper capacity because this is the level of ammonia coming in.
Certainly, yes. What happens at a water treatment plant when there is ammonia, we reduce the production over there. Means the expert, they took the decision that how much water we can treat at a certain level of ammonia, and that water is treated. This is impossible that a person gets a 0.2 ppm ammonia or 2.3 what you mentioned ppm ammonia in tap waters. It is impossible.
So you are saying we don't need to worry about that right now because we are not getting the water.
But yes, the worries are there.
Worries are not getting the water.
Sorry?
We don't need to worry because that water is not coming to us, Akshay Marathe. Is that what it is? That because there is shortage of water, we citizens of Delhi don't need to worry about ammonia levels in the water that's coming to their room, in the houses, even if it's yellow and oddly smelling in content?
That is not from the treatment plant. That is from the...
Absolutely. The people of Delhi have nothing to worry about. The Delhi Jal Board is making sure that if there is any ammonia found in the water, they will not supply it to you. We can be rest assured today that if there is 2 ppm ammonia in the water, that the reason that we are not getting water right now for the last 10 days is because the Delhi Jal Board is not supplying polluted water. So I can tell you tell your viewers on behalf of the Aam Aadmi Party government that they do not have anything to worry about for now, and that is only because the government has not been supplying polluted water. However, let me take this opportunity to actually talk about one larger issue here. Water disputes are not new to this country. We have had water disputes between Tamil Nadu and Kerala. We have had water disputes between Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. There have been about water sharing. Currently, Goa and Karnataka has an existing issue. But at no point has either side been so vindictive and criminally negligent that the result of their actions could potentially result in the loss of lives actually. If the Delhi government had actually supplied the polluted water that we were getting from Haryana, it was actually a serious lethal danger to the people of Delhi. I cannot think of a single example like this in our history where there is such a serious breakdown of cooperative federalism, and it's obvious who is at fault here. It is not the Delhi government that is providing polluted water to people of other states. It is the Haryana government, the BJP government, Khattar government in Haryana that is being criminally negligent towards the people of Delhi. I really want to use this opportunity to tell this to the people of this country, that we have a Prime Minister who's talking about cooperative federalism on the one hand, but on the other hand, his own party's government in Haryana is using every opportunity to pollute the water of Delhi. I'm astounded by this, because it's not the people of Haryana that are doing this. The people of Haryana would never want to do this on, on their neighbors in Delhi. It's up to the government of Haryana to stop industries from polluting the Yamuna. The Yamuna is a river that we all cherish. All of North India cherishes the river of Yamuna. We worship it. We use its water. Then why is the government of Haryana doing this is a question that we must ask today. If we don't ask these questions now, this will continue to happen. And it's clearly a political, it's about a political fight. And I would really request the BJP not to play politics on something so important as water.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Bharate, I wish it was as simple as that, but as far as your party and your government's fights are concerned, they seem to not really improving on any front. So what the viewers would also want to hear from you tonight is the solution that you have. What is the solution every time to go running to the court then, or should we start looking at other options?
No, you're absolutely right. We have to start looking at other options. If you remember, just last year, the Delhi Jal Board also launched a pilot project in a colony in Malviya Nagar. Okay. Your sister paper, the Times of India, had reported this also, that for the first time in any city of the country, the government has now started providing 24 hours potable water supply straight from the tap. Currently in Delhi, and this is across the city, you need an RO. People generally prefer to use a water filter before drinking water because there is suspicion about the water that is being supplied. However, in one colony in Malviya Nagar last year, a pilot project was launched, and the pilot project will end by the end of this year. And it was tested for the first time in India that direct water from the tap is now potable in that particular colony, and this pilot project will be expanded across the city of Delhi, and Delhi will be the first city in India where any citizen will be able to just open the tap and drink water from it.
Okay.
So the Delhi government has taken some fantastic steps when it comes to water supply in Delhi.
This is a problem that we're facing in Chennai. This is the problem we're facing in Bengaluru. People are dying of contaminated water over there in the state of Karnataka. The toxic lakes have now begun to poison the groundwater. What is it that the governments of the day need to start doing to ensure that people at least get basic drinking water in our country?
You see, even if it's a toxic water or what's flowing in the sewage or what's flowing in the rivers or what you are getting in a tap is, I defined it as a water. It is quality of the water that makes the difference. For an example, if the toxic contaminants are there, it is a toxic water. If it's flowing, it's having a domestic sewage, then it's a sewage. After all is water. So there is a need to consolidate quality monitoring, that not to the city like Chennai and Bangalore, but also in Delhi. So CFWD put up a proposal before Delhi government that there is a need to consolidate the water quality monitoring in Delhi. And I personally met Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. I requested him that it is in your manifesto that you will consolidate the quality monitoring, and nothing has been done. 3 years have passed. He was kind enough. He forwarded the case to Dinesh Monia, the Vice Chairman, Delhi Jal Board, and then thereafter there were continuous meeting how we can do that. So yes, the quality of water can be ensured to the citizens by accepting new technologies, innovations in water treatment and ensuring the water quality by consolidating water quality monitoring.
Okay.
This is one thing. Another thing, as far as you ask about the solution, I'll take you back to 2013 February, when due to ammonia the plants were shut for around 48 hours. At that time, Jairam Ramesh was the environment minister. He intervened. He himself come to the water treatment plant Wazirabad. He took a meeting over there, talked to the DJB officer, talked to the Delhi government, and he proposes financial assistance to the Haryana as well as to the Delhi government. I am amazed and I am surprised what Mr. Harshvardhan is doing. He is member parliament from Delhi, and he has taken no steps to in fact intervene in the matter and to settle down. because the most
Right. Okay, I'm just going to quickly go. I'm running out of time. I have one caller on the phone line. Mr. Sehgal is calling us. I think he's a Delhi citizen. Good evening, Mr. Sehgal.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am.
Go ahead, please. Yes, good.
Ma'am, I wanted to put across a point, especially to the Aam Aadmi Party, that one of their important agenda in the election was to make the daily water free. I think this is one of the gravest mistake and a politics done by Mr. Kejriwal to make water free. Water has been a very important source. Delhi does not have any source of its own, and making water free for the Delhi just to win votes was one of the greatest mistakes he has done and all this thing, and made almost the entire water. This is a bad politics. He is paying for politics and all, and making people suffer for that. So I think this decision of making water free should have been should be taken back immediately, and should not be water should be preserved and should be counted for as other cities in India are doing that.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you, Mr. Sehgal, for calling. Akshay, do you believe that at some point, because you made the water free, there is an excess wastage of that? People are not realizing what a valuable resource it is?
I'm actually really glad that someone has pointed this out. Delhi is the first state in India to recognize that water is a fundamental right of the people. If someone cannot afford to buy water, it does not mean that that person should not get to drink water.
Yeah.
That is why the Delhi government has made only 700 liters of water free, which we call lifeline water. It means that every citizen of Delhi is entitled to have 700 liters of water for free, and as soon as he consumes more than that, he pays for the entire amount of water he has consumed. Okay. This is a fantastic model of cross subsidy where it's good politics and it's good economics. Because the moment people start consuming more water than what is free, they have to pay for the entire thing, which results in an automatic conservation of water. Yes. And Delhi has actually seen, the Delhi Jal Board has actually seen an increase in revenue as a result of this.
Okay.
Because
no, I honestly do agree
all the people
with
of
you,
Delhi who actually cannot afford to pay for water are getting it for
all
free.
our viewers and all our citizens, I think the responsibility of conserving water has to come from within. Water should be free for everyone. Why should we be paying for the basic necessities in our life? Because we already pay enough taxes in this country.
Let me add another point.
But Akshay, I'm sorry, I have to interrupt you there because you're completely out of time. But the idea of saving water must come from within. Just because it's free, we shouldn't be wasting any resource. The larger concern we have right now is in our cities from Delhi to Bengaluru, Chennai and every other city. The shortage of water has gone on for decades together. It seems to only be worsening. Despite the fact that it has become a big issue and questions are being raised about it, what we see are governments fighting with each other instead of looking at other avenues. Let's wake up and start looking beyond our rivers, from conservation to alternative ways of preservation of water. These are things that the governments need to start looking at and planning and managing. Because if this is the scenario today, 10 years later, it is only going to get worse. And then no amount of any kind of filtering at our own homes is going to help us. Not everybody is able to afford that even today. It's just disappointing that even today we get water in our taps that we cannot directly drink, and we have to get one kind of filter or the other installed. It is the duty of our governments across the country to ensure that in our villages and in our cities we get clear, pure drinking water. And if you have to crack down on the pollutants, on the industries, then do that. But don't take away our right for basic drinking water. Look at the way our cities are crumbling. Simply because there is no planning, simply because governments don't care. It is easier to sit in newsroom studios and go on about a rhetoric about any kind of patriotism and nationalism. It is more difficult to deliver on your promises of urban infrastructure or rural development. So let's start asking those questions, because we do not want contaminated, toxic water coming through our taps. Thank you so much to our panelists for joining us tonight.